Some truths they need to acknowledge. For one thing, they need to understand the critical role of the separation of church and state in not just preserving our democracy, but the robustness of our religious practice. You know, that, I mean, folks tend to forget, during our founding, it wasn't the atheists and the civil libertarians who were the most effective champions of the First Amendment. It was the persecuted minorities. It was Baptists like John Leland who didn't want the Congregationalists and the established churches from imposing their views on folks who were getting happy out in the fields and teaching scripture to slaves. It was the forebears of the evangelicals who were the most adamant about not mingling government with religion, because they did not want state-sponsored religion hindering their ability to practice their faith as they understood it. And moreover, given the increasing diversity of America's populations, the dangers of sectarianism are greater than ever. Whatever we once were, we are no longer a Christian nation, at least not just. We are also a Jewish nation, a Muslim nation, and a Buddhist nation, and a Hindu nation, and a nation of non-believers. And even if we did have only Christians in our midst, if we expelled every non-Christian from the United States of America, whose Christianity would we teach in the schools? Would it be James Dobson's or Al Sharpton's? Which passages of Scripture should guide our public policy? Should we go with Leviticus, which suggests slavery is okay and that eating shellfish is an abomination? Or we could go with Deuteronomy, which suggests stoning your child if he strays from the faith? Or should we just stick to the Sermon on the Mount, a passage that is so radical that it's doubtful that our own Defense Department would survive its application? We intuitively understand this, which is why the majority of Catholics practice birth control, and some of those opposed to gay marriage nevertheless are opposed to a constitutional amendment to ban it. Religious leadership needs to understand they don't have to accept such wisdom in counseling their flocks, but they should recognize this wisdom in their politics. Now, a sense of proportion should also guide those who police the boundaries between church and state. Not every mention of God in the public is a breach of the wall of separation. Context matters. You know, it's doubtful that children reciting the Pledge of Allegiance are feeling pledged or brainwashed as a consequence of muttering the phrase, "under God." I didn't. Most of the time when they're saying it, they don't even say all the words. You know, they're just kind of, it's all running into, yeah, they're sleepy. You know, having voluntary student prayer groups use school property to meet should not be a threat any more than use by the high school Republicans or some other political group should threaten those with differing views. You know, one can envision certain faith-based programs targeting ex-offenders or substance abusers that offer a uniquely powerful way of solving problems. So we have some work to do here, but I am hopeful that we can bridge the gap that exists and overcome the prejudices that all of us to one degree or another bring to this debate. And I have faith that millions of believing Americans want that to happen. No matter how religious they may be or may not be, people are tired of seeing faith used as a tool of attack. They don't want faith used to belittle or to divide. They are tired of